Andrew broke it because it's
All right, so this is our last type of problem that we are dealing with. This is the type of problem where you have a return trip. So I'm going to call this the return trip type of problem. So this is where you go one place and then you come back. So it says Miss Erskine drove from her home to a car shop at 48 miles per hour. She returns home by bicycle at 16 miles per hour. The entire trip took 4 hours. How far was, this should say not work, how far was the shop from Miss Erskine's home? So, for this one, if I was to draw out my diagram, here's my home, and I'm going to drive to the shop, drop off my car, and then I'm riding my bike home. What do I notice about the two distances? The distances are the same. Obviously, my time is not. If I'm going 48 miles per hour there, it's going to take less time than my return trip. So the equation that I want to use is I'm going to go there in my car. In my car, that's going to be the fast trip. My return trip, I'm going to be on my bike, and that's going to be my slow. So rate, how slow was I driving, or how fast was I driving in the car?
48 miles.
Okay, 48 miles per hour. And my bike, how slow was I going in my bike? 16. We're going to talk about the time in a moment, but we know that my distances are equal. So I should be able to set my two distances equal to each other. I don't know how long it took me to go there, so I'm going to write that as T. But if I know that my total time was 4 hours, can I find the remaining time if going there took T?
4 minus T.
Good. 4 minus T. Let me explain this. I'm going to put this in different sets of time for you guys. Let's say a task took 5 hours. All right? But I know completing the task, the first half of the task took 2 hours. The remaining part took 5 minus 2, which gets you the 3. Let's say we don't know what that first part was. It's going to be T. And then you have 5 minus this amount. This T gets you the remaining part. All right, so that's how I find my two times here. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply. So what do I get here for my distance?
48 T.
48 T. And you can use calculators if you'd like, but you need to distribute. 16 times 4 is
64.
64 minus 16 T. I'm going to set these two equations equal to each other because you guys told me my distances are the same. So I have 48 T equals 64 minus 16 T. If I want to solve for T here, what am I going to do? Yes, ma'am.
Add 16 T to both sides.
Add 16 T to both sides. 48 plus 16 gets us 64 T. And I'm left with 64. What is the time it took me to drive there?
1 hour.
So it took me 1 hour to drive there. How many hours did it take me to come back?
3.
3 hours. Because 1 plus 3 gets us that grand total of 4. The question says how far. So I'm looking for the distance. How far was the shop? Yes, ma'am.
48 miles.
Good, 48 miles. You're going to multiply your rate, which is 48, times your 1, gives you your 48. Another way to do it is you can multiply 16 times 3, which also gets you 48. So your answer is 48 miles per hour. This is our last type of problem that not miles per hour. 48, what was my mistake?
You put hours.
I put hours, it shouldn't be hours. 48 miles away. This is our last type of problem. You will have all 4 types of problems on tonight's homework. Thank you for watching. Okay, go.